So there's been reports that Ryan Garcia wants to fight Barrios next for the WBC Welterweight World title. Now, if I'm Ryan Garcia, I completely understand this call out because, again, of the world champions, he lost to Rolly, and if you lose to Rolly, you definitely lose to Brian Norman. Then the only other world champion option is Barrios, and he does hold the WBC title, which does have some sort of prestige behind it and does have some history, even though at this point having champions like Barrios represent the WBC World Welterweight title does reduce the prestige to it, in my opinion, because Barrios sucks. Let's have it right. I think he sucks. And he sucked against Pacquiao. Pacquiao should have beat him. And if you're a world champion who's losing to a far past his prime Manny Pacquiao, or not losing but drawing, but really you should have lost, I think Pacquiao done a very good performance in that fight and done a good job at winning those rounds. That's for another video though. But Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, in my opinion, Ryan Garcia sucks. Because outside of when he was juiced up against Devin Haney, he hadn't really had a very good performance. And I want a lot of you viewers to re-watch that fight. Because I've watched that fight the first time round, and then I sort of bought into the media consensus that Devin Haney got mollywopped. And at times he did, but ultimately, Devin Haney was outboxing Ryan Garcia for the majority of that fight, right? He had one glaring weakness that also happens to be Ryan Garcia's best shot, and that was landing at will, and it's a devastating shot. And it done damage on Devin Haney, but each time Devin Haney got up, each time he weathered the storm, and each time he continued to outbox Ryan Garcia. Now, if you're a casual, you would see Devin Haney's face at the end and you would see, those knockouts, Ryan Garcia won. But watch that fight back. Watch that fight back and you'll see that Devin Haney was largely outboxing Ryan Garcia because he is a better boxer than Ryan Garcia. But he was just getting caught at that left hook every time. Right? So other than that, Ryan Garcia's not really had any great performances. Got put in his ass by Gervonta Davis, but granted, that was at 135. I think he fought Devin Haney at supposed to be 140. He failed a drugs test for that one. And then he fought Rolly Romero at 147 and Rolly beat him. And he looked awful. Flat and slow. I don't even want to say gun shy necessarily, but really just looking to counter too much. And if you're going to be a counter puncher, you need to be quick. And he didn't have any of that speed when he fought Rolly Romero. So he was just sort of waiting for Rolly to throw. Rolly would throw, land on him, and then exit, and then Ryan Garcia would basically just do nothing, right? And again, Ryan Garcia looked so bad. If he had fought someone like a Brian Norman probably would have stopped Ryan Garcia. If he was boxing Brian Norman like that, right? So again, Rolly's another guy who shouldn't even be world champion because again, other than this Ryan Garcia fight, he's beat nobody good. And lost to Pitbull Cruz and lost to Gervonta Davis. Again, another guy who's very undeserving of becoming a world champion. But for Ryan Garcia, you just lost to Rolly, so you're not going to call him out again. So you fight Barrios, right? That's what he wants. And again, Barrios is a beatable world champion. Proved multiple times that he's good enough, that he's beatable, sorry. Is Ryan Garcia good enough to beat him? I would have said no. I would have said no before the Pacquiao fight. But after seeing him against Pacquiao, you sort of know this guy is certified the worst world champion at welterweight. And that's such a close tie between him and Rolly Romero, in my opinion. Such a close tie. Because I think Rolly Romero sucks. I think he sucks. But anyway, back to Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia sucks as well, to be fair. But if he wants Barrios, it's a winnable fight for him, I guess. But not if he fights the way he was fighting against Romero. If he fights how he fought against Devin Haney, but that was when he was on the sauce, so maybe he needs to get back on the sauce then. If he gets on the sauce, can get those hands firing again, was able to be a good counter puncher. When he tried to sort of apply pressure, that didn't really work out for him. It was mostly when, Devin Haney was trying to apply pressure and he was leaving himself open for the left hooks. Now, Barrios, he may or may not be there for them. I mean, Barrios isn't got great movement, so he probably will be there for the left hooks, but he is more of a, hands up, chin down pressure boxer, which is positive because it's hands up, chin down. So he might not be there wide open for those big shots like he would be otherwise. But yeah, I do think Ryan Garcia could win that fight, though. I think it's quite a winnable fight for him. But yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys think. Do you think this is a good fight for Ryan Garcia? Do you think it makes sense? Do you think he could beat Mario Barrios? Or do you think Mario Barrios is, just a step too good for Ryan Garcia? I'd be curious to know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.